What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Importance Flashback Reviews, where we take movies from our past, break them down, and tell you what we think about them. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top, and comment below. Tell me what you think of the future videos or any of these videos. So we get into the second film of the Toy Story franchise, Toy Story 2. I consider this probably one of the greatest sequels ever made, right up there with the Godfather Part 2, The Empire Strikes Back, so on and so forth. And it's an interesting movie because it almost didn't happen. There's an interesting idea behind this movie where they had been working on this movie to be a direct-to-video movie or direct-to-video sequel. They decided that they were going to go and make it a feature-length movie because they thought they had a pretty good idea of basically Woody finding his original, purpose. And what happened was somebody had hit a key or programming or something like that, execute error, and it caused almost all the files of the Toy Story movie, Toy Story 2 movie, to basically be deleted. Therefore, everything they had worked on for however many years had basically been destroyed and gone. And if it weren't for a mother who had just had a kid and was working on from home, so she had all the files on her basically computer, there would be no Toy Story 2, or at least the Toy Story 2 that we know. It would probably been released later. It may never have happened, but it was an amazing thing to see because this movie was saved because of a mom having a kid, which is awesome. And so we got our Toy Story 2, and this movie was highly anticipated. It came out during Thanksgiving. It was literally the first Pixar movie I ever saw in the theaters, and boy howdy, this movie is incredible. It's fun, it's energetic, it just goes above and beyond the original movie, even though I like the original movie more. And it introduces some fantastic new characters, which you can't believe that this is why Pixar is the way they are these days now, and why they're considered one of the greatest studios, period, because they can take a sequel and not only improve upon it, but make it better, make it just more fun, and just have really cool moments. And there's so many cool Easter eggs and just cool things going on in this movie, and it's just exciting to see. And if you haven't seen this movie, I don't know why, but it's such a good movie. It's dealing with Woody, who is supposed to go to summer camp with Andy. His arm gets ripped and he can't go, therefore it kind of throws him in a flux. Wheezy, who is like a squeaky penguin thing, he gets accidentally put out into the junk sale that's going on because Andy's at summer camp, and Woody accidentally gets put into that junk pile to be sold, and he is bought or kind of stolen by a collector named Al, who owns Al's Toys Barn, which we've seen in the original movie. And of course, it's played amazingly by Wayne Knight, who's playing a despicable character. And, he's very nerdy. He's just not a good person. And he ends up in Al's apartment where he meets his original crew, which is Woody's Roundup. And we get one of what I consider one of the best Toy Story characters of all time. And that's Jessie, who is being played by Joan Cusack. The one thing I've always appreciated about Joan Cusack in general is her quirkiness, her ability to be excited and just have a good time and just create emotion where you never think emotion can be. And that's what is so interesting about Toy Story in general, is they create emotion with characters that are inanimate objects. They're basically plastic or, rubber or whatever you want to consider. And it's just like Jessie has such a heartbreaking story that is played through a song which is sung by Sarah McLachlan, which is just so incredible. It's one of the best songs of an animated movie of all time, and there's a reason it's well regarded for one of the best scenes in a Toy Story franchise. And the way she's been, had this girl who appreciated her, and then the girl grew older and kind of discarded her, and now she ends up in this, display basically of the Woody's Roundup. Joan Cusack just embellishes and embraces the character of Jessie, who's just this dynamic and beautiful and just excited character who is just all over the place and jumpy, and she's just like somebody you love to be around because she's so exciting as a character. And then we were also introduced to Stinky Pete, who has been in a box for his whole entire life, as a collector's item. And he, of course, is played by the fantastic Kelsey Grammer. Kelsey Grammer is just eating and chewing up this role of a character who is trying to keep these characters under control. And his turn at the end, when we find out he's evil and he has evil plans and he is basically a bad person, it's just, he is such a good type of role for Kelsey Grammer, who is known for playing Sideshow Bob and of course Frasier. And he just does so much fun, so much energetic material with this movie, with this role that he's playing, that he's one of the best villains in history, just for just what he has gone through and what has caused him to be where he is. And it's just so cool to watch. And then you got Bullseye, which is like the trusty steed of Woody. And he's kind of like a puppy dog, and he's so cute and fun. And when you see Woody realize what he is, he sees all the figures and displays and the pieces of Woody's Roundup, and you find out why Woody's Roundup was such an important piece of history. And it's the thing that makes it most sad is they're gonna be stuck in Japan under a display, never to be loved by kids, never to be loved by anybody. And that's the kind of the message of this movie is, even though people get passed on from kid to kid, the love and the nature of a kid itself, loving a toy, is forever. It's more played out in part 3 when we see Andy going to college, but this is a story about Andy trying, or not Andy, but Woody trying to accept the fact that he's not always going to be there for Andy, because Andy will grow up, but he can have something there till it happens. And the fact that it adds in these collections of other characters that we've been introduced to is such a fun moment. When Jesse finally gets another chance of another life with Bullseye, and she sees the daughter or the sister of Andy, and it's such a cool moment. And it's just so much fun. And then she starts having a kind of a small relationship with Buzz, which is really kind of cute and kind of adorable. And it's really good, and it's really exciting to watch, and it just fills your heart with joy. But that's like the main story. There's also a kind of other story going on where the other characters, once Woody gets taken by Al, Buzz and Ham and Mr. Potato Head, Slinky and Rex, they go on a mission to rescue Woody to bring him back home. And there's so many great moments in there. When they finally get to the city, there's a whole sequence where they're trying to get across the street, and they're using the cones to get across the street. Well, you can see the cones moving, and there's causing a bunch of accidents. There's portions when they're inside Al's toy barn where they see the big Buzz Lightyear display, and they're riding around in a little cart, and Barbie's there riding along with them and just explaining how Buzz Lightyear back in 1995 was really popular, and you couldn't find Buzz Lightyear, which is absolutely 100% true. And then there's a whole sequence where we get another version of Buzz, who's the diluted Buzz once again, and he basically places our Buzz into a package and kind of steals his identity. And we get I think one of the funniest lines in movie history, or just Toy Story history, I guess, when Ham sees Buzz Lightyear, he has a new utility belt, and he goes, "Man, where'd you get that utility belt? Or where'd you get that belt?" And then Buzz Lightyear goes, "Well, Slaughtered Pig is now a standard issue." And I tell you what, it doesn't matter how many times I see this movie, I laugh every time I see that portion because it's so funny. But there's all kinds of funny stuff in there. There's a whole segment where the Rock'em Sock'em robots and stuff like that, and then there's just like the Barbie having her little pool party, and then it's just stuff like that. Rex, who at the beginning of the episode or beginning of the movie is playing a Buzz Lightyear game, and I didn't even talk about that sequence because that's an amazing opening. I don't know what they did. I don't know how they got that done so quickly, because I think this movie was finished in like 8 months. But that sequence when Buzz is like flying through space and then he lands, and you get the Energizer theme when he's jumping on the little pads and he's trying to get to Zurg, and it's such a good sequence and such a fun way to open it. And you find out it's Rex playing the Buzz Lightyear video game, and It's just stuff like that. It's just, you know, when Rex sees the little book to see how you defeat Zurg, and then Zurg goes on a quest to try and you know, because Zurg comes out of his box, and he goes after Buzz Lightyear, and there's a whole sequence of the Star Wars thing where, you know, Buzz Lightyear's like, you know, you kill my father, and Zurg goes, no, I am your father, and they're playing. There's stuff like that. It's just amazing, you know, and yeah, it's just. I don't get how they kept doing this. They kept creating such magic, and oh man, the movie's so movie's so good. You know, the score is amazing as usual with Randy Newman, and you know, the movie does something that no other film can do. Pixar does something that no other company can do. They create magic out of joy. They create joy out of magic, and they create something special here. You know, when you bring back the whole entire cast, and this is unfortunately the last movie that Jim Varney ever did. They brought in a new actor who was in Boy Meets World. You'll know when I talk about him. It's a thing of just pure beauty. The fact that, you know, even what is this 4 years later, the watch these characters just have so much fun. You know, we also get a Mrs. Potato Head who's played by Estelle Harris, which is just fun as hell, and you know, that's just what makes Toy Story 2 so special. You know, you can pick any moment, you can pick any segment of this movie and just run with it and have so much fun with it. You know, the animation from Toy Story to Toy Story 2 is so dramatically, insanely different looking and better looking that it boggles your mind that they just keep making it better and better. I was watching the Toy Story 4 trailer today before I recorded this, and it's insane how different Toy Story 2 even looks to Toy Story 3 and 4. And it's just, I mean, what can you say about Toy Story 2 that already hasn't been said? This is the reason why, but just kind of just be amazed that Pixar was able to just accomplish and improve. And that's why Toy Story 2 just looks so amazing. Yes, the Andy and his mom kind of look dated, but you know, just the character animations are just fantastic to look at, and it's so impressive. And this movie is just it's an impressive feat that really doesn't get replicated anymore, and that's why Toy Story 2 is such a cinematic achievement. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say on Toy Story 2. There's also a really cool nightmare sequence I didn't talk about, but you know, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you know, Pixar, amazing studio. Toy Story 2, an amazing film. So, but anyways, that'll do it for my take on Toy Story 2. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button at the top for if you have any for any future videos, and comment below on what your favorite portion of Toy Story 2 is, what your favorite character, what your favorite moment, you know, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, that'll do it. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for checking out Movie Emporium. I really appreciate it. If you want to, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification button and the bell at the top. Find out what's coming next for Movie Emporium. Also, check out these two videos. They're amazing. I think they're awesome. I think you'll enjoy them too. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.